been trying to do everything at once, and I get it. You're probably a father, a student, an athlete, a husband or wife, maybe even an airman or a soldier, but now you're also trying to be fit. You're trying to be a gym rat, and you're trying to put that into the mix. But the truth is, you can't grow in every area at the same time. You need to have extreme seasons. You need to have months of focused energy. Growth comes from rhythm and consistency over time, not constantly switching your goals and switching your aim. So what you need to do is lock in for months, not days, and that's when your progress is going to explode. I'm gonna post it right here, and my subscriber posted a question about a video about this topic that I'm kind of reiterating but going into depth in, and he said, okay, I understand that I need to do things in extreme seasons, but do you think I can just do it day by day? For example, extreme seasons, just to tell you really quickly, it's about, okay, I have seasons where I do X activity and I focus on X activity while the other activities that I'm also obligated to kind of are at a bare minimum level so that most of my energy can go on one thing and I can excel on that one thing. Can I switch it day by day by day? Can I focus my energy on one thing on Monday and then the next thing on Tuesday and then so and so? My answer to that is actually no, you don't, and I'm gonna explain why in this video. But before we begin, my name's Chike and I've been consistent for 11 years and I still struggle with fitness. As you see, I built a pretty damn good body, and I wholeheartedly believe, I asked myself, okay, how can my subscriber, how can you build this body? How can Sam build this body? How can David build this body? How can X person build a body like this? And it's only by becoming a gym rat. Yes, there's principles. Yes, there's things about diet and workouts that you have to follow, but I've done nothing special my whole life. And I think the most important thing that I've learned to do is struggle past this struggle. You may think that I don't struggle anymore. I do. I just struggle significantly less than you do. And that's my goal, to help you on this channel, to show you how to struggle far less, because I learned that it's not about managing time. It's not about time management. It's mostly about energy management. Whether you're a father, husband, or whatever. If you're a father, maybe you do struggle with time, but husband, full-time worker, active duty, whatever it is that you're doing, it's probably not that you don't have a lot of time. It's that you lack energy and you lack focus and you lack the ability to cultivate a routine and a schedule. And I've learned how to manage my time. I've learned how to manage my energy. I learned how to bulk without having to count every single calorie that goes in my mouth. And I learned how to fall in love with the gym. And I've learned how to fall in love with training again. I've learned how to do all these things while having the busy lifestyle I have. And my goal for you right now is to get rid of all the analysis paralysis, shed light and get rid of all the gimmicks, and stop having you worry about all these rigid routines and rigid programs and all this other extra stuff and making you feel like you need to do Jeff Nippart's new meta-analyzed shoulder routine and just lift and get big like I did, because it doesn't take much for you to get big and to grow. It just takes you turning into a gym rat. That's what it is. The reason why I'm like this is because I've been consistent for 11 years and I've been a gym rat. I've got this body in 5 years. I've just been consistent for 5 years. I've got this body before I hit my 11-year mark. I've just improved upon it. I'm just a lot bigger than I am now, but it's not hard to get aesthetic. It's just about you eating at a certain caloric level that you need to eat, managing your ratios with your macros, and just staying consistent. The highest ROI thing that you can do right now is to just lift, turn your brain off, and become an ignorant caveman. I'm here to help you do that. I'm here to turn you into a gym rat. And that's why right now, to help you with your managing your energy levels, we're going to talk about why it's not that you're unfocused, it's that you're in the wrong season. That's it. You're in the wrong season and you need to do things by seasons. In the last video, I talked about why breakthroughs require unrelenting daily focus, right? And that can be achieved through extreme seasons. So basically, just to reiterate one more time, when you have many things to worry about, so I'm just gonna talk about my example. I'm in the military, I'm doing YouTube. As you can see, my channel has been growing rapidly, not because I let my circumstances define me, but because I get the fuck up and post when I know I need to post. And also, I go to the gym regularly, 4 days a week, 5 days a week, depending on the season. Right now, I'm in the season for grinding on YouTube because I know that's what's going to change my life in the long run. I know that when I start to blow up and I start to give you more value and I start to become more credible and I can become more of an asset to you, that my life is going to change. I know that when I help change your life, you can help change my life. So what the fuck is Chike going to do? Chike isn't going to do everything at once. All right, I'm not going to do everything at once. I'm not going to try and be super hyper disciplined on fitness right now. I go my 4 days a week, I hit my bare minimum workout, and then I come home and I focus on making sure that my ideas and my content is better. When it comes down to the military side, I make sure that I'm in regs at the right uniform at the right time, checking everything I need to check, and I do my job the way I need to do it, and then I clock out, and then I come home and I focus on this. I do the bare minimum. I'm not saying I slack on my job. I'm not saying that I slack on fitness, because obviously you can't quit those things. What I do is that I put all my focus and intention into YouTube right now, and I can do that not by quitting the other things, but just finding a bare minimum baseline standard that I know that I need to uphold to maintain it, and then just letting it be that, and then not giving much of a care about it when I come home. The reason why you struggle to make breakthroughs on fitness, because you have a 9 to 5, you probably have a side hustle, you may be starting a YouTube channel, you probably got other stuff going on, maybe you're also going to school and college. It's because you are thinking about all that shit at the same time. And I do mean thinking about it, because when your mind is revolving around all these things at the same time, that's when your gains go down. I promise you. And you can check out this book. It's really old, it's a bit outdated, but it's called The Power of Full Engagement. And this book talks about why certain athletes basically perform better than others. And I know this point's really long, but I need to reiterate on this. Certain athletes perform better than others, even though physiologically they have the same performance capabilities. And the reason why is because athletes are able to take mini mental flow state breaks in between sessions. They're able to basically simplify their life and just focus on one thing at a time. People that don't excel, the athletes that basically didn't excel, they're focused on many different things, and because of that, in their routines and in their sessions, they're more tired and they're exerting more energy. They're not able to take breaks. And I'm not going to talk about that too much in my video, but my point is this, is that you need to just focus on one thing at a time and put all your energy into one thing. So why can't you do everything day by day? Why can't you just have a season a day? First of all, it's extreme seasons. It's not extreme days. So not to insult anyone's intelligence, but the reason why it's seasons is because when you do things day by day, you build a continuous rhythm, and that's where growth comes from. I've done this for 11 years. Trust me, bro. Listen, I thought I knew everything about fitness when I was younger. I didn't. Now that I'm an adult and I actually have a life, and you know, I'm even dating regularly. I'll have like a date every other week, and I'm still doing YouTube, and I'm still hitting the gym consistently. It's about rhythm. If someone wants to go on a date with me outside of the normal times when I know that I can do it, I don't do it, because I know it's gonna fuck up my rhythm. When I tried doing stuff during the week and everything when it wasn't appropriate, and that would mess up the time when I have to wake up early to record YouTube videos and script and record and do all this stuff. It's about rhythm. So the reason why you can't do it, why you shouldn't switch it up day by day, is because it's not going to help you focus on one thing rhythmically, because then you might ask, well, I can find a rhythm if I do A on Monday, B on Tuesday, and C on Wednesday. You may think that, but that's actually not true, because you're switching up tasks repeatedly. Task switching is the one killer to productivity, focus, and growth, okay? You kill your flow and you kill your deep workflow when you task switch. You almost want to enter a Zen-like state and a deep flow state when it comes to fitness. You want it to be like, man, like this is the fucking routine. I'll have times when, because I stayed so routine, that my heart literally will physically start pumping more, and I'll get more excited and feel adrenaline at the thought, like hours before my gym session, because I know exactly when I'm going to go to the gym. And if you follow these principles, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So you want to have it be rhythmic, and you want it day by day, because that's what will allow the rhythm to settle, and that's what will build that consistency in that flow. And I kind of already mentioned my second point here inadvertently. Task switching breaks the flow, because think about it. Let's talk about ADHD. Attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. I think that's what ADHD stands for. Correct me if I'm wrong. Or ADD, ADHD, whatever. It's not a lack of dopamine, but it's almost like their ton of dopamine levels are so low that they're constantly seeking new stimulus to basically raise those levels artificially, and that it causes an inability to focus on one thing. That's what that is. That's literally ADHD behavior. Task switching in and of itself is the definition of losing flow and focus. So when one day you're like, okay, it's fitness day, and then the next day, oh, it's this day, oh, it's this day. When you're switching it up, you're bound to stay mediocre in that thing, because then you're not able to focus on the one thing. True focus is doing something day by day to have it within a season time frame. That's true focus, when you've embedded in yourself a routine. Now, one may ask that, okay, well then what happens when it's the next season? Aren't you breaking flow on that focus? I'd like to stay focused on this one thing forever. My answer to you is no, it's not, because you have to get better at other things. You have to just bite the bullet. If you want to get better at YouTube, if I want to get get better at YouTube, my focus can't be fitness all the time. Now my niche is fitness, so it does help me to focus more on my fitness a little more. And I'm able to do that now because now I hired an editor. But it's like, initially I cannot do that. I cannot pump out my 4 videos a week completely focusing on fitness, okay? And if you want to focus on something more, find a way to delegate. Like, for example, hire an editor if you do YouTube. And the thing about that, and I'm gonna tell you the mindset with that, I didn't start making more money before I did that, okay? I sacrificed part of my lifestyle to do this. So you need to learn how to sacrifice part of your lifestyle to delegate to allow for more flow. Like, for example, I got this apartment with an extra room and I'm paying extra out of my BAH, unlike everybody else, because I knew this would benefit me and to a lot for my performance. Okay, you need to learn how to care about your performance a little bit more. And you can do that by delegating, and you can learn to delegate if you're willing to spend a little extra money. That's why I offer a course. I have a course in the top link in my description. I give that to you because that takes away all the thought that you have to have on learning how to manage your time and to be completely productive. That's why, and I'm constantly updating it. I bought into a course myself when it comes down to YouTube and learning how to market myself and to become more effective, because that takes a lot of energy and time spent out of my day in figuring all this shit out. I pay for ChatGPT, I pay for other things to help delegate my duties to make my life easier, find ways to make your life easier. But to not get on a tangent, don't task switch. You want to focus on one thing, and doing things daily is task switching. And the third thing is that, listen, consistency doesn't mean daily streaks, okay? And that may sound like it's making my main point redundant, okay? Chike, you just said that I can't task switch every single day within a season, that I shouldn't task switch every day, and that I can't do daily seasons, right? Yes and no, okay? And consistency doesn't mean that you're doing this daily, right? Now, I did say that rhythm comes from doing things daily, but what I mean is that what's more important is that within a season that you do and you focus on one thing. So let's say within this season, you set like a 3-month time frame. Okay, so you have 90 days to focus on this one thing. If you skip a day within these 90 days, the damage is you skipping the thing and doing something the fuck else. That's the damage, okay? That's what's gonna disrupt your flow. I'm telling you the truth. When I missed my recording day, right? When I missed the days when I had to record because I did something stupid on the weekend, right? When I went and did something else, or when I missed a gym day, and then I'd say, oh, okay, like instead of me focusing on the gym this season, I'm just gonna worry about YouTube. Oh, instead of me focusing the YouTube this season, I'm just gonna focus on what I have going on military side, although normally I don't really have to do that. When I switch up like that, it's almost like the flow that I have for YouTube gets erased. It's almost like the flow that I have for the gym gets erased. You want to almost put yourself in a mind state that fitness is the only thing that you have to worry about, because when you tell yourself that you have other things to worry about, it's like your mental bandwidth gets messed up, okay? Consistency is broken when you choose to do other things within the season that you have to worry about. Right now, all I'm focused on is YouTube, okay? If I miss a time that I have to script, or if I miss a time that I have to record, I do nothing. I just make sure I hit my gym days, and then I make sure I do my duties that I have to do, and then I just brainstorm ideas. And that's what makes my content better, because you're taking away from the progress that you need to make in this one aim by switching up and doing something else. So let me just reiterate what the practical steps are, how you can apply this advice practically so that you can see growth in your gains. The first thing is that you need to set a 3 to 6 month time frame in when you want to focus on something. Write down the 3 areas in your life, maybe there are 4 areas, God forbid, that you need to improve upon. And then find out which one is more important. Find out the one that's more profitable for you in the long run, okay? Right now it's fitness, so you need to just make fitness the first thing, okay? And then you need to set a 3 to 6 month time frame in which you will focus on nothing but that. The second thing that you need to do, the second practical step, is by finding out how you can do the bare minimum of the other things practically. Actually, like, write it out, figure out what it is that you can do to do the bare minimum for those things. If the bare minimum thing that you're doing right now is fitness, I'm going to tell you exactly how you can make sure that the bare minimum is fitness. Have a 3 or 4 day routine and make sure that on those 3 or 4 days, you're doing 3 hard workouts, 1 heavy set and 2 hypertrophy sets, and then leave it at that. Trust me, because then when you do this, let's say you get used to doing the bare minimum for fitness, right? You can do 3 to 4 workouts if you want. I do 3. You're actually going to learn to love fitness more in these bare minimum seasons, because it's going to become a routine for you. And because you get used to doing the bare minimum, when your season switches over to fitness, you're going to love fitness more. You're going to already be used to doing the bare minimum, and you can take it up a notch. See, when when you do all this other shit, when you're trying to focus on everything at once. Oh, I want to be a billionaire, or I want to have a six pack, or I want to have 8 inches. When you're worried about all this stuff, okay, you don't give yourself a chance to fall in love with either of the things. So if you want to do bare minimum fitness, I recommend 3 to 4 days a week. If you're doing 3 days a week, do 4 workouts. If you're doing 4 days a week, do 3 workouts. Make sure they're hard. Make sure you go to failure. Make sure one of those sets are heavy, and then you call it a day. If you want those routines, you can check out my program or just watch out other videos that I have on this channel. Now, if you are going hard on fitness, I recommend you do 4 to 5 days, 4 workouts for each of those things. If you're doing 4 days a week, you can do 5 workouts. If you're doing 5 days a week, you can do 4 workouts. And the split that I do is push, pull, legs. And then on the 4 days a week, I do push, pull, legs, shoulders. And then on the 5 days a week, I do push, pull, legs, shoulders, and abs. Okay. Maybe I can run down my split on one day on my channel, because routines for me are overrated. I'm all about the principles. I'm all about the lifestyle and the psychological changes that you need to make to become a gym rat. If that's what you're interested in, top link in the description is my paid program. Otherwise, you can just keep watching and click on this video for free. Catch you in the next one.